So everybody, welcome to the IronRoad Way. We have a very special guest with us today, Kelly Draggoo from the Social Security Administration.
Right.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So give us a little background on you. Are you a Cincinnati native?
I am. I'm a Cincinnati native.
Okay, big question. East side, west side?
Well, I'm from the east side, and I now live on the west side. So I'm a trader, I suppose.
Wow. I don't know if you may be my first.
I know it, right? I grew up in Marymount.
Okay.
And went to the Marymount schools, and then
Okay.
My parents were divorced. My mother went to the west side. My father stayed on the east side.
Okay.
And so I moved over to the west side in my 20s, and that's where I've been ever since.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
You would have been the first
Yeah.
that I've ever met. And I know my good friend Dave over there is a West Sider.
Yeah.
Cleves born.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Representing.
Yeah, the west side people don't leave the west side.
They
That's
don't.
For sure.
And the east side people don't go to the west side.
Exactly. There's nothing over there for the east side.
But Kelly went. Oh, you didn't know Gil Hopkins in Marymount,
Yes,
did
I
you?
did, with Young Life.
Look at that.
Yes, I did.
I'm going to tell you.
We used to see him on Wednesday nights at the Parish Center there in Marymount.
Let me tell you something. Gil is one of my heroes.
Yeah.
And he was very involved at Crossroads Church here
I didn't
in
realize
town.
that.
Yeah, he and Brian Tome were really, really close. And Gil discipled me for about 30 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Met him through Young Life, and the most crotchety old man you'll ever meet in your
Yeah.
life. But, man, he
Neat
knew how
guy.
to – he was the best.
Yeah.
He was the best.
Yeah.
So what did you go? I got to know this because his wife, Joanne, who's a dear friend of Suzanne and I's.
We met in the basement of the Parish Center in Marymount.
You might have to explain.
Wednesday
You might have to
evenings.
explain that a little bit, Kelly.
Well, it was a group of us high school kids.
There we go. Okay, it was an actual event. You didn't
Yeah.
meet Gil in the
Yeah,
basement.
no, and he would teach us out of the Living Bible. I even remember that.
Oh, wow.
Neat guy. He was really neat. We did a Camp Kern event. I can remember doing that where we all
I
went
was
out to
probably
Camp
there.
Kern. Probably.
I was
in the
probably
80s,
there.
Late 80s.
Yeah, I was.
Graduated in 88.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you graduated in 88.
Uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
you know Jerry, who was your basketball coach?
Oh, Jerry.
Cousins.
Cousins, yeah.
Jerry Cousins.
He was
former.
our assistant principal at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and Hurley and Long. You remember all those guys?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
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 Man.
I just saw Mr. Cousins for the first time in 30 years at Hank Kleinfeld's funeral.
Is that right?
Several years ago, if you knew Hank Kleinfeld, he was kind of a big Marymount
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I'd seen Jerry in 30 years.
Yeah.
So it looks exactly the same.
The guy,
He's still tan.
He's
thin.
still, he is. He's tan, thin, and looks like he should be on some type of talk show. That's
Exactly.
for sure. Oh.
Yeah.
So, Kelly, how did you get involved with the Social Security Administration? You don't meet a lot of people that are involved in that.
Well,
At least I haven't.
I worked at Job and Family Services in Hamilton County for a lot of years.
Okay.
And then when the economy went bad in 2008, I was one of the unlucky ones that was laid
Okay.
off, and Social Security scooped us up. So a lot of what we do at the county, or did at the county,
Yep.
Social Security is interested in those folks. So luckily, I was brought on as a claims representative back in 2009
Okay.
with Social Security.
Okay.
And then just last year, I took this position as the Public Affairs Specialist. Susan Denny was our Public Affairs Specialist for about 20 years in this area.
Okay.
She promoted to Philadelphia, and this position opened, and I took it.
They picked the right lady,
so
huh?
it was awesome. So,
Yeah.
there's a lot that I'm doing now that I've never done before, like the podcasts and things like that. but
You're a natural.
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great. I love to talk about Social Security and all of those benefits. So.
Well, that's great because that's what we want to talk about today.
Absolutely.
So, as a public affairs specialist, is that right?
That's right.
So, what is your goal? Do you want to help educate?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
My role is really to reach out, do all kinds of outreach everywhere that I can, and help educate the public on our benefits and programs. Social Security doesn't use taxpayer dollars to advertise, so we only do everything where we can get in for free.
Mm-hmm.
And so we spend a lot of times working at resource fairs or going to speak to aging staff at retirement ceremonies and things for staff and employers.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more I can educate folks on what documents they need to bring, what the benefits even are, what to start thinking about for their own personal situations, the happier everybody is when they come into the lobbies to file for their benefits.
Yeah.
Then our staff is able to help them better. They don't wait as long and then find out they're missing something, et cetera. So Yeah.
So do you guys work with private employers from an education standpoint? So I don't know if you know much about IronRoad, but we work with a myriad of different private employers across the country.
Okay.
And so do you do any work?
Absolutely. We want to talk to everybody. We have public affairs specialists all across the country. And so we can, go out and visit the companies independently and give presentations to their staff. We can offer free webinars if we need to do it that way. We don't have anything as sophisticated as podcasts.
Well, you got it now.
Unless we join in yours.
Yeah, come on.
We do some Facebook Live events and things like that from our home base in Baltimore. But yeah, we can work with everybody.
That is really cool. So what's the motivation behind it? Really just to help people
just to educate.
Transition?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a program that touches 64 million people. Everybody reaches, or Social Security will reach most everybody in their lifetime, and everybody with just the Social Security card. But most people will receive some kind of a Social Security benefit in their lifetime, and so but there's not. You won't see television commercials. You won't see literature all over the place. So you really have to educate yourself. So to avoid people from missing out on that education, we try to go to them.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So how do you qualify?
Well,
more than one way?
There is. It depends on what you're looking at qualifying for. So, what most people think of Social Security is retirement benefits.
Right.
So to qualify for retirement benefits, you have to work. You have to pay into Social Security. So you pay a payroll tax that we call FICA. And when you pay that federal insurance or the tax, then you are basically insuring yourself for retirement benefits. You need at least 40 credits, and you earn a credit by the dollar amount that you're making. So this year, when you make $1,360...
Look at you, you're going to fire these off, aren't you?
That's when you earn one credit. So this year, when you've earned $5,440, you've earned your 4 credits for the year. You need at least 40. So you need at least 10 years of part-time work, basically, to be insured for retirement benefits one day.
Okay, so and if let's say I hit those credits every year, and I do that for 10 years, then I qualify for Social Security.
Absolutely.
How do they determine how much I get back?
Well, that's going to depend on how
and
much
when does it
you
start?
pay in. The earliest you can draw retirement benefits is 62. So that's been the minimum.
Can we qualify earlier?
No.
Really?
For disability benefits, yes. And as a survivor, potentially yes.
Gotcha.
But as a retired person, no. Age 62 remains the earliest retirement age.
62 is it? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the amount is determined by how much you've paid in?
Absolutely.
And is there a ceiling?
There is a ceiling. It's about $2,800 for the highest benefit for somebody at their full retirement age. That would be for somebody who has earned the maximum under Social Security every year for 35 years. Mm-hmm. So this year, for example, the maximum that you pay tax on is $132,900. So that would be somebody who
they can make $10 million only paying on $132,000.
Exactly.
Okay, I got you.
Exactly. Now, some people get more than that per month if they delay retirement benefits beyond full retirement age.
It sounds like
then we can boost their
sounds
income.
like a good financial planner. You're saying, let us keep your money, and we'll pay you more later, right?
Very much.
You're betting on yourself to be
right.
able to make a little bit more.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I wait, or I don't want to retire at 62, and I want to retire at 65, and I say, Kelly, keep my money, you'll say you can go from 28 to 56.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is at 62, you receive somewhere around 75%, maybe a little less, of what you would have gotten at full retirement age. Mm-hmm. So then each month and subsequently each year that you wait closer to your full retirement age, the higher benefit that you're going to receive. Mm-hmm. So everybody has a different full retirement age. Mine is age 67, so I'm born after 1960. So anybody born after 1960 has a full retirement age of 67. So if I draw it at 62 instead, there's a pretty large reduction there because I've taken it 5 years early.
Oh, okay.
So now other people have an earlier full retirement age.
So depending upon when you're born,
Exactly.
you've got a retirement age that you have to wait until.
That's right.
in order to receive full benefit.
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
And if I take it at 62, when I become eligible, I begin to pay, or I pay, there's a percentage that I have to give up for taking it early.
That's correct. And that's
so what
forever.
is this? And that's forever.
That's forever. Permanently reduced.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you guys running out of money? People are living longer.
Well, lots of people think that.
Yeah.
You know, and that is one of the reasons. People
Yeah.
are living way longer than
Yeah.
ever before.
Of course, and they need it because
yes.
we're going into homes where people are taking care of us. I mean, everybody sitting in this room probably has somebody that's being taken care of in some type of facility.
Yeah.
And they cost a lot of
Oh,
money.
yeah, yeah. You know,
I don't know how people do it.
I just read yesterday, I think it was a Council on Aging article that I read where in this country, compared to other countries, we don't take care of our elderly.
No.
We put them in homes and hope that they're taken care of there.
That's right.
Whereas like in Japan, for example, they don't do that. You know, they have a national day of elderly and they go home and take care of
They
each
really
other.
honor them.
Yes, yeah. So you're right. I mean, we live a lot longer than ever before. When Social Security first came into existence, people retired at 65, drew their Medicare at 65, and maybe lived until 75, and then they died. Today, people retire at 62 or 65, whatever age, but we're living well into our 80s and sometimes beyond that.
I have two neighbors, 195, 197.
Yep.
They're both in better shape than I am.
Yep.
Oh, they were ex-fighter pilots. Why are you laughing at me, T? I'm not kidding. Pappy is a GE retiree. He's 95, and he's not slowing down. Yeah. If my lawn starts looking a little iffy,
Comes after you.
Billy, you want Velma and I to come over there and clean it up? I mean, so I'm feeling your pain.
Yeah. Well, that combined with the baby boomers in general, there's the pendulum has swung, and there are now more people receiving benefits than there are paying into it. And Social
How do you
Security-
survive that?
Well, Social Security, is funded.
That just doesn't work.
It doesn't, and so Congress really needs to make a change.
You
If
guys
they
lobbying
don't-
for a change?
Yeah, oh yeah, there's lots of people out there doing that. Lots of congressmen are trying to get those changes made.
So what would you, if Kelly, if we take the Donald and we move him out and we move you in,
Oh boy.
knowing everything you know about Social Security, we say, bye, Donald. You got great hair.
Well.
You got that on him
don't
at
have
least. You
the-
got a great smile. So he's gone. You're in.
Right.
All right. So talk to me.
Well-
What changes do we make based on what you know?
I
'Cause
think some
there's
taxes-
not a better person to ask.
Yeah, I mean,
You're gonna
think,
tax
I think
us.
taxes are going to have to go up. We've paid the same amount.
All right. Let's do a
on-
poll. Hold on. Ken, you willing to pay in?
Absolutely.
We got one yes. We got how many people in here? We got 12 of us in here. Dave, you willing to pay in? Honest answer, yes or no?
A little bit.
So Dave's willing to give you a little bit. Ken's an absolutely because Ken's a heart guy and
Okay.
he's all about number one serving people.
Okay.
And I guarantee you, in regards to the elderly, he'd be like, of course I want to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Dave's going to give you a little bit, but he's a West Sider.
That's true. That's true. We're a little
Those
tight.
you're well
We're a little
said.
tight, but we got lots of money because
You
of
got
it,
all
too.
kinds of money. It's all.
We don't show it in our cars and our houses the way the East Side does.
It's so well. The East Side has got all the cars and the houses, and they got no money.
Exactly.
The West Side, it's all underneath the pillows,
That's right.
underneath the mattresses,
That's
and you
right.
walk around happy and
You got-
smile
you
and
got
not
guys
stressed.
driving motorcycles over there, but they're millionaires. you know?
Exactly. That's exactly right. So Dave's going to give you a little bit. Okay, Tierra, this is we got a different generation here, right? So we got a recent college graduate, T. Burden, our social media expert, who does an amazing job at organizing this podcast. And have you ever seen a smile like that?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I mean, that's a gorgeous smile. Yeah. So Irene, sweet Irene, T's mom, shout out. Great job. What a kid. Okay, so based on what you've heard so far, truly, and I listened to your conversation on the way into work today. You're complaining about being poor. We're not paying her enough money. She's lobbying for a raise. Is that true or not true? Okay, so honest answer. Would you be willing to be taxed more to pay into Social Security? Based on what you've just been hearing Kelly talk about, because we got a problem.
Probably.
Oh, there's a typical millennial.
Yeah, I think
Maybe, probably. I think I
you know,
might.
people at Tiara's age aren't real
They don't know.
interested in Social Security. You know, I didn't know anything about it until I started working here.
I still don't know anything about it.
Most people don't until it's time, you
Yeah.
know, and
It's kind of like life insurance.
totally.
Who
You know,
wants to
I don't
talk
know
about
much
it?
about that either.
Well, I mean, it's like,
My work
who wants to
gives me
talk about
some.
it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we can help you with that.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think some taxes are going to have to probably increase. How much the payroll tax is.
That's the FICA,
I
that's the
wouldn't.
FICA tax. What is it right now? 0.7?
6.2,
Oh,
and so the employer pays.
what am
that.
I talking about?
Yeah, the employer pays part.
Oh, the employer
and
portion.
then
I was
the
thinking about the
employee pays part. So
and the
we-
employee portion is
still the same, 6.2, but then there's also a 1.45 Medicare tax.
that's what I was.
So
looking
that's
for.
where it becomes like 7.65 or something out of your paycheck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
So
0.7,
I-
7.65. That's our business. I
Yeah.
should know those
Yeah.
numbers.
I think that is probably going to increase. I would say that could change.
Now,
I
who and is it the Social Security Administration lobbying for that?
No,
Is
no,
it-
this is Congress.
It's Congress understanding we're
Yeah.
going to run out of money.
That's correct.
We can't take care of our elderly.
Yeah.
We got to do something.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We work for Congress, so when they make the law change, then our laws will change.
And see, it makes perfect sense to me then why you're doing what you're doing. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to make a move like that, you have got to have the Kelly Draggoos of the world out educating people like us
Yep.
who have no clue.
Right.
You know, all we're thinking about is what? More taxes for
Right.
what?
Right.
And what was the statistic I just saw? People, and there's how many people? 360 million people in this country?
Ooh, I don't even know.
I think
don't know that
that's pretty
statistic.
close. Call it 360 million people in the United States. So the people over age either 50 or 55, do you know that stat?
I do not.
It's a big one.
Wow.
Can you get that number? Look up the number of people over age 50 in the United States.
Oh, I
You'll
bet
be
it's
shocked
huge.
at the number.
Yeah, I bet that is
Which just
huge.
makes your problem that much bigger.
Absolutely, and that's our push for internet filing and all the work on the internet.
What's that mean?
Because there's not enough staff in the offices to serve
Oh, yeah, you can't-
all of the baby boomers that have
Yeah.
now reached age. So, there's just an influx of people filing.
Yeah.
I thought I read that there was like 10,000 people a day that turn 65 years old or something like that. That's huge. So, and that's all draining
10,000
the Social
people a day
Security
turning
system.
65. What's the number, T?
Says 108.7 billion.
Wow.
So 108
0.7 million.
108 million. So how many people in the United States right now? I bet you it's a third. So a third of the population is over 50.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. And a third of the people then are not probably paying into Social Security or won't be soon. And that's part of the issue.
Oh,
The
look at that.
payroll
I didn't even
tax.
think about that.
The payroll tax is basically what funds what is paid out of Social
Sure.
Security. There's also some tax when people work and earn above certain thresholds, and they'll pay an income tax. But for the most part, it's the payroll tax that funds the program. And right now, there's more people drawing out of it than there are paying in. And that's what's draining the trust fund that people hear about.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think Social Security is going to go broke. It's not necessarily going to go broke. It's that trust fund that we talk about is draining. So think of the
That's
trust
going
fund.
broke.
Well, think of it like a savings account. And in order for us or for Social Security to pay 100% of benefits to people right now, they are dipping into the trust fund. So they're using all of the money that's being paid in from payroll tax, and then they're adding to that from the trust fund.
Kelly, I got a slogan for you.
Okay.
We're looking for that West Side savings account. We don't need that East Side savings
Yeah.
account. We were looking for that West Side money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 327 million people, is that the number? Oh, tell me to stop moving my, sorry. Okay. 327 million people in the United States, 108 million are over age 50.
55. 50. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
So tell me about Medicare. What's the difference
Well,
there?
Medicare really has been status quo for many years. It still remains age 65 is the age that you can start to begin with Medicare. Unless you have a disability, then you may get Medicare at an earlier age. But age 65 remains the same. They have changed Medicare over the years. It used to just be parts A and B. So you had inpatient hospitalization, and then you had doctor coverage that used to have prescription drug coverage. And they changed that, and now they call A and B original Medicare. They got rid of the drug coverage, and now you have to buy a separate drug plan. if you need drug coverage. So if you're not fortunate enough to retire with a retiree health plan to supplement your health insurance, then most people end up with Medicare A and B, plus they buy a supplemental plan or a Medicare Advantage plan, or at least a prescription drug plan. So Medicare can be quite costly when our incomes significantly decrease in retirement.
So my understanding, because benefits is part of what we provide here, right? And we use outside brokerage services. And one of the things that they're often telling us to do, which they've got ulterior motives, right? Because they don't want unhealthy people on the plan.
Sure.
And the older you get, statistically, your odds of getting sick go up, right? But one of the popular things that I've heard is that Medicare coverage is often better than the coverage that's being offered by companies.
I suppose it can be sometimes, yeah. Especially with Affordable Health Care Act that passed, a lot of the health insurance changed. So now they have huge deductibles, and unless you have a catastrophic event, your insurance probably isn't paying for a whole lot. Medicare at least will pay about 80% of your health care expenses. So it's a good chunk of what you will owe in health care. But you still have to come up with the extra 20%. And to some people who live just on Social Security with very little other savings, that's a lot of money. And, prescription drugs are not cheap.
Boy, it's not easy, is it?
No.
And are you saying that the prescription plans now, Medicare's not providing that? You got to go buy it somewhere else?
That's correct.
When did that stop?
I feel like that changed around, I was still at the county then, in the 2000s, that they modified Medicare.
You talk about expense. I mean, it's roughly, a company, if you're running between 12 and 15% of your RX in regards to your total spend, the insurance companies consider that a good risk.
Okay.
So if you think about the cost of health care, 12 to 15% of that number is that's a big number.
Huge.
And if you're sick, I have a daughter with Crohn's. And so I think we're like $15,000 an injection.
Yeah.
And so have we, if I was on disability and I needed Medicare, which I can get if I'm on disability, right?
Correct.
I'm talking about picking up 20% of that. Doesn't happen.
Right. No, it doesn't. And it puts people into a poverty level or a bankrupt level.
Hard to believe, really. And the ignorance around what's happening to millions of people is hard to believe, which makes me so thankful that there are people like you out there trying to educate.
Yeah.
So is the answer, I asked you to sit in Don's seat, and you said taxes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? I don't know that there is.
I think so. I told you before that there's a threshold on how much people pay or when you stop paying the FICA tax. Right now is $132,900. We have a lot of people in this country that make a whole lot more than that per year. And, those are the rich that keep getting richer that don't have to pay those taxes.
Yeah.
So I have seen some legislature that's out there. We have an actuarial page on our website that lets you look at what Congress is proposing and what some of the lawmakers are trying to put through. And one of them is they want to keep a threshold like that, but then there might be a gap where maybe from 130 to 400,000, those folks still don't pay anything extra. But maybe then when you have a salary then that's more than 400,000, you're taxed again. And so the middle rich aren't going to be taxed, but the higher rich will be.
The billionaires.
Exactly.
They get a bigger.
Right. So
They
that's
play a
another
bigger
thing
chunk.
I've seen as
I wonder
a
what the
proposal.
it would be I'd be really curious to know what kind of dent that would make.
I don't know.
You
I
know,
don't know.
you give those guys in between 130 and 400 or 500 a break, and if you're making over $1 million a year, kicks back in at 7.6% or whatever the rate is.
Well, and we already do that for Medicare. So Medicare, the base price for Medicare Part B is $135.50 per month this year. So we all pay for that. But the rich will pay more than that. So there is something called the income-related monthly adjustment amount, where if you have a
That sounds like a government name.
It is.
Can you say that again?
It's income-related monthly adjustment amount, otherwise known as IRMA. That's what we
Irma. Now that I can remember.
That's what we
Who,
call
who
it.
came up with Irma?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Social Security
I like
speaks in
Irma.
acronyms. So
I used to
everything
date a
has an
girl named
acronym.
Irma.
There you go.
Yeah, so now I got it.
Well, it's
So
Irma
Irma
with
means I'm
two
going to pay
A's.
more money.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So once you're
She actually spelled her name with two
with
A's.
two A's, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Wonder if they're
once
related.
your income as an individual is more than $85,000, I said income, and that's not the right term. It's really your modified adjusted gross income.
Kelly, you're too smart.
So when we talk about the modified adjusted gross income, that's not only your wages, but that's also things from your, if you take 401k, if you take out money out of your IRA, if you sell a home, all of those kinds of things.
Include all that.
Yes. So you could have a very high MAGI and pay more in Medicare because of that. Basically, a single
Is there a
person,
limit?
yeah, once you're over 85,000, you will pay more for Medicare. As a couple, once you're over 170,000, you will pay more.
Okay.
The highest one I've seen is an individual that's 500,000 or over will pay an additional $325 a month, and a couple that's got 750,000 or more will pay that additional $325 a month.
Still, it's pennies.
Yeah,
For somebody making $750,000 a year,
yeah.
to pay $300 a month is not asking.
Well,
too much.
supposedly it only affects about 5% of the population
That's
of
what I
people
would
with
wonder.
Medicare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So what else should we know? Anything
Well,
else? This is your
I-
chance. You're
I-
going up against next week. Our podcast. We got Jungle Week.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
we got Jungle Week. We
Okay.
got two. We got 2 stars. We're not revealing them right now.
Awesome.
But we got. You're going up against. One of them was a former People Magazine 50 Most Beautiful People.
Oh, wow. I
How
can't
about that?
compete with that.
Oh, baby, you got him.
Oh, I can't.
You got him.
I cannot compete
The
with
other
that.
one just got out. He runs a big business in town, but he
Okay.
spent a little bit of time in the
Uh-oh.
funny farm.
Okay.
But he just got out. But we're having a competition between those two, so we want to see if you can beat their views.
Oh, boy.
I'm betting on you, Kelly.
Well, you know,
you got. There's something about you
this,
that just.
this information everybody wants to know, but it's really not exciting. You know, I mean, we all
You're
need
making it
We all
exciting.
need to know it, but there's nothing exciting about
Well,
this.
see, I don't think so. I think you're making it exciting. This is engaging.
Yeah.
Because it touches everybody.
It really does. It really does.
Everybody. In
I
some
think
form or fashion touches everybody.
One thing that I really need to get across is everybody that's over 18 needs to set up a My Social Security account. So if you haven't already ever heard of that yourself,
My
Social Security.
Security account. How do I do that?
you just go onto our website, socialsecurity.gov, and create one online.
Okay.
Now, the security behind it is through Equifax. So we will look at your credit bureau and ask questions from your credit bureau
Are they gonna
to
take a hit?
verify who you are. No.
Okay.
There's no points.
Sure.
It doesn't change your FICO score
All right.
or anything like that. Nothing is reported to show that we've been on there. But we're going to ask questions from your credit bureau to verify you are who you are. So unfortunately, some people cannot pass those questions. They don't remember the answers to some of those. So if that happens, we can set up an account in our office by seeing the person with their driver's license or their state ID.
Where's your office?
We've got several offices around town. The one office is downtown in the Federal Building at 5th and Main.
That makes
We're
me
on
nervous.
the 2nd floor.
Somebody else get nervous about going to a federal building?
If
Does that make you nervous?
You do have to
Why does
travel
that make
light
me
there.
nervous?
Travel light when you come in there. Don't
But you
take
just
any
hear the
weapons
word
at all.
federal, it's like I start thinking like I'm nervous.
Yeah. They send you through the metal detector. It's like going to the airport. They take
I feel
your
like it's
shoes
going to
off
the
and-
principal's office.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I spent too much time there.
We have another office in Evendale. I spent a few times with Mr. Cousins.
You did?
Oh yeah, he knows me well.
Kelly, come on, baby.
He knows
Hey,
me
Jerry,
well.
you're on here next. We're gonna have you. Hey,
He'll
Jerry's-
remember me.
If I would have known that, I would have called him and had him
Yeah,
here.
He's a wonderful man.
He is, but he would have come here for me.
Yeah.
And we got to do that. Jerry Cousins.
How about Jerry Somerville? Did you know him as well?
I know that name. but-
Jerry was very involved with the student life. He was very involved. He would have known Gil.
Okay.
But he was the guy everybody went. He was a football coach.
I remember.
But
him.
he was one of the guys that everybody went to when you needed help. You went to
Yeah.
coach. That was
Yeah.
all you knew him as.
That's
coach.
pretty cool. You
Yeah,
know,
really neat
And
guy.
Marymount is such a different little community.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a neat.
It's a
little
bubble.
place. It
you know,
is.
I when I got out of there, I was like, whoa, where am I?
Yeah.
But I'm so fortunate I had an education there.
Yeah.
So fortunate.
Yeah, it's a cool little
Yeah.
community.
Yeah. But anyway, the My Social Security, we really want you to do that. This is the only place today you can get your Social Security statement. So that's that green and white statement we used to mail to show you what your future benefits might be and whether or not you've earned all the credits necessary to get benefits. So people really need to look at that at least once a year and make sure your earnings record is right. Your earnings are reported to Social Security from your employer each year. We don't know if they're right or not. You need to know if they're right because those earnings are what we're using to calculate your future benefits.
Okay.
And if those aren't right, and you don't ever look at that statement, then one day when you do go to retire, you'll say, wait a minute, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of legwork to fix
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it's better if you look at it every year.
Yeah. Kelly, I think it's really cool what you're doing.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, you got to get a lot
Thank you.
of satisfaction out of it.
I do, I really do.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody wants to hear this. It's not exciting information.
It is exciting.
But
You know
everybody
why?
wants to know it.
You know why? You know why this is
Why is
exciting?
that?
Because every guest that comes on here gets to sing with me.
Oh.
I mean,
You
how
don't
cool
wanna
is
hear me
that?
sing.
Yeah, baby. All I need to know is your favorite kind of music, your favorite song. We're going to bust this out.
God.
This is the Iron Road Way.
I don't know.
We're singing with Kelly Draggoo. I'll do the introduction. Introducing the one and the only from Marymount. She's a warrior. She knows Jerry. She leaves nothing on the table. Kelly Draggoo will be singing with me, the one and only. Chilly Willy. What are we going to sing,
I'm
Kelly?
going to let you sing. You pick the song.
Well, you got to tell
take
me
the
what you
lead.
like.
I can sing anything.
Nobody does
Is it better?
better. Bum, bum, ba-na-na-na. Makes me feel sad for the rest.
You have a much prettier voice
Oh,
than I do.
no. Come on. Nobody does it
Quite
quite
as
the way you
you
do. Everybody now. Kelly, Kelly.
Can't
Kelly,
sing.
you're the best. Awesome. Kelly, thanks for being with us. Awesome to be with you.
Thank
Great
you for having
information.
me.
We're going to have you back on.
Absolutely.
We're going to do one with you and Jerry. We'll
Absolutely.
get deeper into this. Let us know what
Absolutely.
we can do to support the taxes going up because we didn't do the tallies, but we got a West Side maybe. We got a probably. We got a yes.
Well,
And you didn't ask
hopefully-
me. I'm a yes.
Hopefully Congress comes up with another way than that. I mean, I don't really want to pay more
You
taxes.
betting on
I'm
them?
sure nobody does.
You
So.
betting on Congress?
Well, you know, they have created things before. This is not the first time Social Security has hit this impasse.
Right.
So hopefully they'll get creative and fix things.
Who should we be lobbying to?
Your congressman.
Yeah.
Whoever your congressman is in your area, that's
Okay.
exactly who to reach out to.
All right.
Your
Okay.
senators.
All right. Rob Portman.
That's right.
Rob, what do you think? We need to get Rob Portman on here. Hey, Rob, what do you think? We can do you and Rob.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
I don't know if I can. I can't come on with political folks. We're not allowed
Oh,
to.
Rob, you're not invited.
We can't
like
look
Kelly.
political.
Rob, you're gone. Kelly, thank you. Great
Thank
job.
you very
Good
much.
to be with you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.